Hi, I'm Jean-Marc Julien, and I want to get you up and running with your first application using EventStore. So in order to do that, I'm going to teach you how to download and install Docker, manage a Docker instance of EventStore, create streams and events using the browser interface, and create a basic client application that reads and appends events. This is the EventStore downloads page at eventstore.com/downloads. Let's see what the options are for working with the EventStore database. Click on the latest version. As you can see, there are multiple options for working with the database server ranging from EventStore Cloud to Windows, Linux, Mac, and Docker. Let's head over to docker.com. So what is Docker? Docker is a platform and a set of tools designed to simplify development, deployment, and scaling of applications by using something called containerization. Docker Desktop is a graphical user interface for working with Docker. Choose the installation for your operating system. I'm on an Intel Mac, so I'll choose that. Once the download is complete, go ahead and install it based on your operating system. Once it's installed, go ahead and run the Docker Desktop application to make sure it's working. All right, great. It looks like Docker Desktop is up and running on my machine. You can use Docker Desktop to install EventStore, so let's head on over there. This is the images section. Click on this button to search images to run. Then do a search for EventStore. Click on the first one listed. This is the official EventStoreDB Docker container, and this is the instructions for it. If you scroll down a bit, you'll find a Docker run command which you can enter into a terminal to install and run the database. Let's copy this second run command because it allows you to use EventStoreDB's stream browser, which I will discuss shortly. Paste the contents into a new terminal window. If this is your first time running this container, Docker notices that the container is not available on your machine, and it automatically pulls it down to install it, and it runs the EventStoreDB container. Let's head back over to Docker Desktop and click on the Images section. You can now see the EventStoreDB image. If you click on Containers, you can see that the container is running. Stop the container and then restart it again. If you click on the container, you'll get more details for it, such as a log and files belonging to the container, which can be very useful for debugging and development. Now let's also verify that the installation was successful by accessing EventStoreDB via the browser interface. Open up a web browser such as Chrome and put in localhost:2113 in the web address. If you see a screen that looks like this and you can access the stream browser, then you're good to go. The EventStore browser interface is an important tool in your toolkit. For now, you'll use it to create streams and events using the stream browser. In the top menu, click on Stream Browser. Here, it lists all of your recently created and changed streams. You haven't created any streams yet, so everything listed here are system streams. Let's add a new stream and event by clicking the Add Event button. You'll need to provide a stream ID, which identifies the stream. Let's use Order123 as the stream ID. You can leave the event ID that was generated. Add an event type of order shipped. This is essentially the type of event that happened. And finally, let's add some data about the event. Add an ID with a value of 1 and a description with a value of laptop. Once you are done adding the details, you can go ahead and hit the Add button to add the event to the stream. The event was added successfully, and you can check this by clicking on the stream browser link again. The new Order123 stream shows up. Click on the stream to view the events. You can see the event with the type order shipped that was specified. A created date timestamp was also added for the event. Now, if you want to view the event data, you can click on the event, and you see the data that was provided. Okay, great. So you know how to create events using the Stream browser, but practically, you won't be interacting with events that way. Likely, in a production environment, you'll be creating streams and events using a client in languages like Java or Python. Let's create a Python client that reads and appends events into EventStore. I'm using PyCharm, but you can use an editor of your choice. Let's create a new project and install the necessary packages needed to work with the EventStore database. Keep the default settings and hit Create. Now, navigate to Settings by clicking PyCharm, Settings, and expand the project settings. Click on Python Interpreter and click the plus sign to add a new package. Do a search for ESDB client and install that package. You can also install this package via the terminal using pip or poetry with the following command. Now that you've installed the ESDB client package, you are ready to go with your first Hello World application. Exit out of these windows and create a new Python file called hello. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do is to create a client that's connected to the database. So, create an EventStoreDB client which takes in a URI argument. The value for the URI should be a connection string. Here is the connection string you can use when first starting out. Later on, there are more parameters in the string you can change, but for now, this will work just fine. Assign this to a client variable and then import the EventStoreDB client. You'll notice it's imported at the top. Now that you have a connection to the database, you can create an event that will be added to a stream. So let's create a new event and pass in a type and data. The type will be order shipped. Now remember, you had a similar field for type when you added an event using the browser interface. For data, you'll send some raw byte data. Notice the B in front of the quotation marks signifying it's raw byte data. You can assign this new event to a new event variable. Make sure to import it. All right, now it's time to append this new event to your stream. So on the client, let's call the append to stream function. This function takes the name of a stream that you want to append to. This time, add order 456. It also takes an events argument with the events you want to send, so you can add in brackets the event you just created. And finally, it takes a current version argument. For now, you can pass in streamstate.any. Okay, great. Go ahead and run the application. Make sure Docker and the EventStoreDB server is already running. Then navigate back to the browser interface at localhost:2113. And if you check the stream browser, you'll see that the newly created event was added to the stream from the Python client. Change the data in your event, then run the application and check the stream browser again to see the new event. Now let's go ahead and try to read the streams within the Python client. Call the client.getStream function and pass in the stream you want to read, which in this case is order 456, and assign that to an events variable. Now you can simply read the events in a for loop. Add some different data in your event, then run the application to get all of the events in that stream. Now go ahead and change the event data once more. I'm having you do this each time you run the application just so that you can have multiple events recorded in the database, not necessarily because it's required. Now, if you just want to see the data that was sent in each event, you can specify that with event.data. When you run the application now, you're only receiving the data field of the event. All right, great. Let's review what we've learned. We learned how to download and install Docker, manage a Docker instance of EventStore, create streams and events using the browser interface, and we created a client application that reads and appends events. These are the essentials that you'll need to create your first application with EventStore. You can visit the documentation at developers.eventstore.com to learn more. I'll see you next time.